Our State of the U.S. segment tonight, a trip by one of the Trump presidential campaign's foreign policy advisors, Carter Page, to Moscow is now the focus of congressional and FBI investigations into Russian influence in the 2016 presidential election. And according to new reports, the trip was approved by former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski after Lewandowski previously said he'd never met Page in his life. It's like another day, another allegation involving Russia and the Trump campaign, but I'm still waiting for the evidence. With me now to break it down, senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, Dr. Ariel Cohen. Dr. Cohen, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure.
All right, Dr. Cohen, like I said, it seems like another day, another allegation. What do you make of this newest allegation?
Well, the first thing, the first rule of thumb in Washington, don't lie. What we see again and again in the Clinton era with Monica Lewinsky impeachment and with other things in this campaign, is it's not what people did, it's what they said afterwards and thought that they will not be discovered. So that's not a healthy attitude, number one. Number two, we are a subject of a massive Russian attempt to spy, to hack, not just Russia, everybody does it. The Chinese, the North Koreans, you remember with Sony, the Iranians and others, and we do it to other countries as well. So this is the nature of espionage in the 21st century. Why send people who can get caught or killed when you can hack the computers and get all this information? Number three, we live in a country that is, thank God, ruled by laws and not by people, unlike Russia, for example, or North Korea or China. As long as people are not caught red-handed with crimes that they committed, they are innocent. And I am assuming that people are innocent. I went to law school, so forgive me. I'm assuming that people are innocent until found guilty by the court of law.
Right, and I mean, I said this yesterday on the show. At this point, you know, Republicans on the right, Democrats on the left, they're both jumping to these conclusions when, sitting from where I'm sitting, I don't have enough information to draw a conclusion about this, but the narrative that's being pushed by the left right now, and I guess this goes into what you were just saying, this narrative is that it was just a matter of weeks after Carter Page or J.D. Gordon met with the Russian ambassador, you know, whether it was in Moscow, whether it was at the Republican National Convention, just a matter of weeks afterward, that's when WikiLeaks dumped the DNC emails right before the Democratic National Convention that happened in Philadelphia. And going back to the point that you just made, I think it was your second point, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Does that sort of politicking, does that sort of accusation without any substantiation, does that dilute the very real threat of Russian attack or Russian hacking attacks against us?
Well, first of all, there's massive Russian hacking, including the DNC and the attempts of RNC, but beyond that, before that, in 2012, the Russians apparently hacked the emails of the Joint Chiefs. And that's very serious. And we don't know what else they managed to hack. Clearly, the WikiLeaks data dump that now includes today, or yesterday rather, includes the CIA materials, presumably. That is a massive blow to our national security, what CIA electronic espionage capabilities are. Apparently, it's the Russians who are behind it. I said for many years that the Russians are connected to WikiLeaks, or maybe WikiLeaks is a Russian operation altogether. So let's not lose the perspective. Russia is not a friend of the United States. The Soviet Union was engaged with us in a Cold War, trying to undermine our national security, having Rosenbergs stealing our nuclear secrets, having communists working for the Soviets and being paid by the Soviets in this country. And we have others. We have North Koreans, we have Iranians, we have Muslim Brotherhood, we have all kinds of people trying to meddle in our politics and steal our secrets. So let's not lose that perspective. And beyond that, Russia is expanding its military footprint in Eastern Europe, is fighting in Ukraine, projecting power into Syria. This is not our friend. Having said that, when we make accusations, they have to withstand the test of criminal prosecutions.
let me ask you this, Doctor. What does this mean? What does this mean for our relationship with Russia going forward? I mean, one of the talking points or one of the campaign promises from President Trump, up until just a few weeks ago, really was that he was going to actually reset relations with Russia, unlike the red reset button that Hillary Clinton tried that didn't work. What does this mean? If these allegations are true, if the Russians were behind the WikiLeaks data dump, if the Russians were behind even the hacking of John Podesta's emails or the DNC servers, what does this mean for President Trump when he's trying to, warm up this relationship with Putin?
Well, you've seen the Munich Security Conference where everybody from Vice President Pence down, including General Mattis, Secretary of Defense, including Chairman McCain of our Armed Services Committee of the Senate, said we are taking Russian threat to Europe, to Ukraine, very seriously. Russia committed an act of aggression against Ukraine, and there are consequences. President Trump said Russia needs to return Crimea to Ukraine. So I think President Trump, as a realist, as a person who understands power, I'm reading his books now, clearly. He understands what a bully is, what a power hungry leader is. He understands that. He understands the threat from North Korea. He understands the economic threat from China. He will take Russia seriously. But in those areas where he thinks we can try and cooperate, for example, against ISIS, he may pursue it.
Right, and I think you've done extensive writing on the fact that one of the ways that President Trump could and that President Obama neglected to increase our own stability in that region or against Russia would be in the Balkan states, an area that's very powerful but widely overlooked, I think.
We need to understand that the Russian ambition do not stop in the borders of the former Soviet Union. They include all of Eastern and Central Europe, from the Baltic state to the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. And now with Syria, Russia is projecting power into the Middle East for the first time since the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Right, and I guess we're going to have to see what President Trump will do going forward. It's certainly going to be interesting. Dr. Cohen, thanks for being here. It was great to talk to you, sir.